Mary Akers first kept hermit crabs when she lived in Florida in the 1990s. Later, she lived among them in the Turks and Caicos Islands and was thrilled by the sounds that their clacking shells made as they emerged in the evening to begin their nightly forage. Many years later, a friend offered her the last remaining hermit crab that had belonged to her daughter. Strangely drawn to the idea of keeping hermit crabs again, Mary accepted the single crab, but told her husband she would only be temporarily crab-sitting. And isn't the first sign of a rapidly developing obsession denial? She proceeded to research crab care and found that everything she thought she knew about their care was wrong. She fixed things daily, and her colony grew to 2, and then 4, and then 6, and then more. The tank size grew to a 55-gallon on loan, and then a 120 tall, followed by a 90-gallon found on Craigslist. By then, Mary was completely hooked on the beauty of a well-built crabbitat and the strange, mysterious moves of its inhabitants. She read about successful breeding attempts in the HCA forum, and when she discovered that her crab had eggs, knew she would have to try giving the babies a shot at life. 5 years and 9 attempts later, she has successfully brought more than 1,000 baby hermit crabs to land and created a breeding program that, with the help of Land Hermit Crab Owner Society, is slowly changing the captive-bred hermit crab industry. Please welcome Mary Akers.
The land hermit crab's role in a healthy ecosystem. Hermit crabs fulfill 3 primary roles in maintaining a healthy ecosystem. They are scavengers, consumers of animal carcasses, detritivores, consumers of leaf litter, plant matter, and dead wood, and coprophages, which means they are excrement recyclers or poop eaters. Scavengers are often maligned and underappreciated animals. But try to imagine a world without scavengers, a world in which animals die, but their bodies do not get consumed. Instead, the carcasses lay where they fall, putrefying and rotting, creating the perfect breeding ground for disease, not to mention the smell. Scavengers such as buzzards, rats, raccoons, coyotes, and yes, land hermit crabs occupy this important but often overlooked niche in an efficiently functioning food web. They play a critical role in maintaining that ecosystem, keeping it free of the bodies of dead animals, breaking the corpses down into usable organic material, essentially recycling animal carcasses into accessible nutrients for plants. Dead and rotting animals are a health hazard to living animals, and scavengers quickly break down this dead biomass, consuming, digesting, and excreting nutrients that benefit the entire ecosystem. Detritivores eat detritus. But what is detritus? Rather than being one thing, detritus is an aggregate term encompassing a wide range of organic matter. Its makeup will vary by ecological area, but for the purposes of this discussion, we'll keep the definition of detritus focused on the cast-off biological items that one might find comprising a forest floor. Leaf litter, decaying plant matter, insect bodies, pine duff, shed snakeskin, feathers, egg casings, dormant seeds, bark, twigs, and the like. These are all items consumed by the hermit crab as he forages through the tropical forest. In terrestrial environments, detritus, once processed, will become humus, a rich, dark, fertile soil. In aquatic environments, detritus is first suspended in the water column as marine snow, then eventually falls to the seafloor. Woody plants are made up of resilient molecules, cellulose, chitin, lignin, and xylin, and these decay at a much slower rate than other organic molecules. Detritivores, like hermit crabs, who consume these woody plants, effectively speed up the process and recycle an ecosystem's energy flow, preventing an overaccumulation of plant litter and returning much-needed nutrients to the soil. Coprophagous organisms are, put simply, poop eaters. They help an ecosystem to cycle nutrients back into the soil by breaking down materials that are not yet biologically available to plants for uptake and reuse. And, much like the scavengers, they perform an important and often overlooked function, the recycling of fecal matter. Without coprophages, we would soon be drowning in poo. Coprophages rid the environment of fecal materials that could otherwise become substrate for the growth of disease-carrying flies and microbes. When hermit crabs consume the feces of larger animals, mammals, reptiles, birds, and bats among them, it gives them access to nutrients that they, with their simplified gut tracts, could not otherwise process. Ingestion of feces allows hermit crabs to benefit from the presence of existing gut microbes, which their bodies do not produce, making these nutrients more easily ingested because the food has already been partially digested. Some coprophagous animals may even eat their own excrement, thereby increasing nutrient release via multiple digestions of organic material. These are then passed into the soil, making those nutrients biologically available to trees and other autotrophs and completing the nutrient cycle. Land hermit crabs exhibit a unique habit of something biologists refer to as stratified living. Loosely speaking, stratified living means that land hermit crabs can travel across multiple ecological strata, ignoring the natural environmental boundaries that may keep other species contained to a particular area. Defined strata for a species may develop in response to many things: food availability, defensive capabilities, breeding sites, or specific adaptation to a limited range of environmental conditions. But land hermit crabs defy these boundaries, and as a result, they interact with multiple ecosystems. Simply put, land hermit crabs are tropical travelers. They climb high into trees. They wade into and traverse freshwater streams. They roam up and down coastlines. They swim and spawn in the ocean. They dig down into the earth and build tunnels underground. They walk many miles over the landscape, regularly visiting both dense forests and wide open beaches. Hermit crabs are highly adaptable to varied conditions, and this unique habit of stratified living helps not only to spread their species' bioload across multiple ecosystems, it also reduces competition and relieves the stressors on unique and precious resource areas. In the course of moving through various environments, hermit crabs may also transport seeds, pollen, or beneficial microorganisms from one biome to another, helping to integrate entire biological systems. When they dig, hermit crabs cycle nutrients throughout the soil. Their tunneling and digging actions actually help to build a healthy soil by changing the size and texture of soil particles, thereby increasing porosity and the ability of water to percolate, as well as shifting and distributing microorganisms. Hermit crabs are litter transformers. They convert organic nutrients into simpler inorganic compounds, making them bioavailable for uptake by plants. Hermit crabs are ecosystem engineers. They alter soil structure, composition, and hydrology. Their burrowing improves soil porosity, provides aeration, increases water holding capacity, facilitates root growth, and prevents the erosion of topsoil. Hermit crabs are soil movers. Movement of soil particles from lower strata to the surface facilitates organic and mineral integration, stabilizing the soil and increasing its capacity to store nutrients. Hermit crabs are composters. They break down woody materials which otherwise would persistently accumulate on the landscape. This speeds the return of essential nutrients to the soil system. Hermit crabs are recyclers. Feeding on feces permits the recycling of many essential nutrients, including inorganic copper, which is an important component of the hermit crab's copper-based blood. Hermit crabs are soil builders. They consume multiple forms of organic waste and convert it into nutrients that help to create a healthy soil, the first building block of any healthy ecosystem. So, why have I spent the last 5 minutes trying to convince you that wild hermit crabs play a vital role in keeping the environment healthy? For the same reason I've spent the last 5 years attempting to solve the riddle of captive breeding. Because wild hermit crabs deserve to stay in the wild. They are needed and they are necessary. They deserve to not be captured, transported far from home, and treated like decorative, throwaway, starter pets. They deserve to live out their natural lives in their natural environment. For their sakes, obviously. But now, hopefully, you better understand that this is also for our sakes and for the planet's sake. How can you help? Simple. Do not purchase wild-caught crabs. Rescue an unwanted hermit crab from an unsuitable home. Adopt a crab whose owners need to find it a new home, which you can do through the Lycos adoption program. Or purchase one of my captive-bred baby hermit crabs from Josh's Frogs. Help us break the cycle of abuse. And please, join me in the effort to help keep wild hermit crabs living in the wild, where they belong. Thank you.